to look at anything yet. I've been putting out fires all day. The fires are still burning as we talk right now. So when I'm done, I have to continue to. So no.
Hey, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. And as you can see, I'm chilling with this gorgeous, fantabulous. I said fantabulous the other day. My daughter was like, what's that mean? I was like, it's kind of a made up word. Don't make up words. Fantabulous, amazing, delicious. Was delicious your word that you used to always use?
Definitely delicious. Yes, thank you.
Relationship, dating, intimacy expert, the one and only Allana Pratt, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Allana Pratt.
It is so good to be here. It has been so long. It feels like a blink of an eye, but it's been over a decade. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Blinking eyes.
Right?
People don't realize that, you know, like I said, if you're having fun doing what you do and in life and all the stuff that goes down and you look up and bam, here we are. I mean, we'll have to break bread soon and hobnob and act a fool and get slushed and I don't know if slush is the word.
I don't know what that is, but I think that sounds marvelous. Let's do that next time we can. We'll get slushed.
For those that don't know Allana Pratt, where are you originally from, Allana?
I'm a small town Canadian girl. Yeah. Did you know that? Look at your face. You didn't know that. You didn't know that?
I don't think I knew you were from Canada.
Oh, yes.
And for those of you,
I'll turn the accent if you really want me to, but yeah, small town Canadian girl.
Allana actually was when I did my first, actually that was when I had my development deal. So that was my first development deal. That was Chris Wilson, who was the director of How Do I Look for the Style Network. And great guy. And we did it at Gardenia in West Hollywood.
Yep.
And Allana was my special guest and taking the sisters through these exercises and all this stuff. And we joke about it because she was like, oh, and doing all this, feel your body and into the motion. And she wasn't necessarily caressing.
Was I massaging my breasts? I don't remember.
Yeah. You know, the guy, you tell you what guys see when they see you doing your medical. We're like, yeah, all that. And she was like, and just, you know, think about the water and everything dripping down your hair. Just mess your hair up. 90% of the audience were African-American women. So, and after we talked, after the show, she was like, Troy, it seemed like I had them. Then all of a sudden they left. I could feel them just leaving. What was it? I said, when you talked about messing their hair up, you know how much money African-American women spend on their hair?
I had such a humbling moment of growth and culture. I'm so grateful they didn't like cackle at me or throw anything at me because I didn't get it. You don't know what you don't know. But how beautiful that they were kind. And I learned my lesson.
Yes, you're genuine, and to this day, you're genuine, you're transparent, you're real.
Thank
and
you.
I want to talk about this because I don't usually try to date the interviews, but we happen to be in a dispensation of time that's so that will change history.
Yes.
Like 2020 will be a time in history. So this is the summer of June, going into the summer already of 2020. Yeah. We just flew past the spring when most people get all flirty and spring fling and people usually like to get out the house, and most of the people were stuck in a house with their spouse or their mate.
Yeah.
So in the words, the report is that, and especially for people, I got a lot of friends that are lawyers, but some people who are divorce lawyers are talking about the rates for divorce or the filings have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
We knew before anything like a quarantine took place, most people were just coexisting.
Yeah.
It was one of the reasons where you do what you do, I do what I do.
Yeah.
As far as talking to couples, talking to single people, talking to people about intimacy and better communication and what communication really is versus just talking, you know. And so all in all, what have you seen or what has been some of the things that you've heard from your clients during this quarantine where either they're by themselves and they can't get to the mate or they've been locked up with their mate and they're like, Allana, girl.
Where are the aliens to abduct them now? Yeah. No, seriously, they've definitely said that. So what I love, if I was to say, Well, let me even back up 1 second. I believe that in every moment, there's equal pleasure and pain, equal challenge and support, if we were really to be present. I'll give you a super quick example. When my mom died, there was half pain that she's dead, but the other half was pleasure because she wasn't in pain anymore from cancer. Same moment when I gave birth to my son. Half of me was like blissful. Here is this little miracle. And then the other half of me is like, holy shit, how do you keep this thing alive? Like, oh my God. So like scared, right? So like in every moment, there's actually both if you really slow down and be present. What I've discovered with COVID is we were seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. We were seeking pleasure in porn, Facebook, shopping, pretending, all this avoiding going on. So we didn't have to look at our relationships. And now that COVID hit, there's no more escaping. You had to face what you've been running away from for sometimes decades. And then you don't get a lot of time to yourself to contemplate. So you're not doing a lot of really good self-care, me time, alone time in nature. So you've got all of this growing. And so shadows have nowhere to go but in your face and projected out onto your partner, right? Or if you're single and alone, your shadow's in your face when you look in the mirror, right? So there's no escape. That's the gift. That's the gift right now. And yes, maybe these people that are filing for divorce ought to have been divorced all along. The sad thing is, I think maybe some of that's true, but I think the other part is that no one's learned how to sit in the fire, keep their heart open, lean in, and grow more intimate through conflict. Like have even more transparency, even more vulnerability, not blame other because they've had an intimate relationship with themselves that's solid.
That's pretty deep. That's to sit in the fire.
Yes.
Learn more, grow more. And, you know, that is a gangster mug. You know, I'm into.
That's a trough if you have.
It's like an Aztec ceremonial. Drink this, and you should be able to defeat Takamuka. You know, it's like volcano. You about to jump in a volcano. I love that. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm into mugs. Okay, so that's deep because, you know, fire is proving. A lot of times, like they said, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Fire is the proving ground. Fire is the thing that purifies gold. It makes sand glass. It makes sand, those things that are granules and those things that are rough and those things that are abrasive, transparent. So it's amazing that, yeah, I picked it up.
Phoenix rise from the flames, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix rise from. So that's powerful. A lot of times we don't lean in. A lot of times we harp on generations bad. We like, well, these generations, they are quitters and this, that, and other. Well, you know, what have you gave them to glean towards? What have the 40-somethings, the 50-somethings, the 60-somethings given a younger generation to glean towards? You know, how many times are they seeing? A friend of mine, her parents have been married 54 years.
Wow.
54 years. And the first thing I told her, I said, well, when I meet them, I'm going to ask them how their sex life is. She was like, oh, maybe not. You might not.
Thank you.
To know. He's 80. She's 81, 82. Your mom looks kind of nice at 70-something. And I want to know what's happening. Yeah. My grandfather died at 92 years old.
Nice.
And the lady at the nursing home said, well, you know, and he had a stroke and everything. He was like, he was still. There was no Viagra then. This is in the 90s. I know he wasn't taking Viagra in the nursing. So he's still, you know. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's very important that people maybe take a minute and do that. Why is it so easy for people to run to the hills, knowing that you're going to have to climb another mountain in another relationship? Why are we running for the hills?
To be worse in the next one because you didn't learn the lessons in the prior one. That's how life works. You know, the joke about, you know, first God sends like a canoe and then you're like, no, I'm waiting for God, and then the boat, and then you're dead. So like it's going to get worse if you don't do the work. I know this from my own story, and you said so lovely that I'm vulnerable, and I really want people to know that I'm no better than you, but I do the work, and the only one in common with my 2 divorces was me. So I was willing to slow down, which is the gift of COVID. You can use this time to numb out And I will say for the first week, I was scared, drank a little more scotch than usual. Like, I'm human, but like, okay, call my coach and let's really sit in the fire here and do the work. If we can't have an intimate relationship with ourselves, i.e., when I'm scared, I go towards myself. When I'm ashamed, I go towards myself. When I'm mad, I sit in the fire and I burn and I figure out what is it that is out of integrity or misaligned with my values that my anger is trying to let me know about. If I don't go in and have this intimate relationship with myself, how the hell am I supposed to be present, heart open, and listening without trying to fix or judge my partner? It's not possible. So this time is a gift for us to let the shadows flush up, lean in, and here's the trick. We don't lean in to fix. We don't lean into with a strategy of, okay, just feel better. If I just sit here and breathe with you, you'll feel better. It's not just about sitting and meditating. It's literally an alchemy that needs to occur. Your sadness is a gift for you to grow into maybe bravery, or the pain might want to grow into strength, or the betrayal might want to grow into forgiveness or compassion, right? Like this emotion isn't wrong. Okay. If you lean in and get curious and go towards that part of yourself, and like a little you, like a little Troy or a little Lana's in there, like, hey, what's going on? I'm sad. I'm scared. And instead of going, yeah, feel better. Here's a popsicle. And that's what we do in life. We go use shopping or food or drugs or porn or just the next swipe left, to not deal with it. No. Go in and say, tell me more. Sit with them as the emotion rises that you probably haven't been willing to feel at a 10 out of 10. Just 5 or 6 or 7, then I'll shove it down with another drink. No, sit in the fire all the way through, which is only going to take 5 or 10 seconds if you just be brave and keep breathing and stay connected. You have every right to feel this. Tell me more. And this part of you will speak. All it wants is to be understood. You don't even need to agree with it, but just be present and give some validation, compassion, and empathy for what this part of you went through at age 5, at age 10, at age 15, 25, 35, whatever pipes up. Just acknowledge it. And here's the key. Don't change it. Be willing to sit in the fire with it for eternity. Now, if you're willing to sit with this part of you for eternity and never change it, that would mean you love it unconditionally. You love it without condition. I will love you forever, for eternity. When that part of you goes, really? You're not here to fix me, change me? You really get me? Well, I'd actually really rather not feel shameful. Let's go have a better attitude. I'd really rather not be sad all day long. Let's go have a better attitude. But it's not going to do it until you really unconditionally meet this aspect of yourself. Now, here's the cool thing. Once that aspect of yourself has been validated, heard, acknowledged, you've breathed, you haven't pushed away the pain, that energy transforms. It's science. It comes home. This disassociated part of yourself comes back into your body. You are embodied as strength itself, courage itself, forgiveness itself, aliveness itself, even the permission to be fully self-expressed and naughty, courageous in the bedroom, whatever it is, it's in you now. It's not 10 more affirmations in your head. It's in your body. Yeah. What?
Now, are there some, because I definitely want people when they reach out, and you guys can always go to AllanaPratt.com. All information is going to be below. The full video, we'll put part of this on IGTV. The full video you can catch on the YouTube channel for LA Radio Now, and Allana will have it as well. But are there some exercise? Because I've over the past at least the past five years or so, I've realized how important it is to do some exercises. Just like we exercise our body, especially breathing. When I started doing Tai Chi and learning that, oh, shoot, I can't control my breathing. I was like, if you can't control your breathing, you can't control anything. But it's amazing that these mental exercises, like you said, sitting in the fire, giving yourself a chance. People used to just say, let me just count 1, 2, whatever your technique is, are there some techniques that you teach some of your clients and some of your people as far as just breathing and relaxing and letting loose? And the other thing I love about you is that you're so, if you're like, look at all, we're going to go out here and do this and do that and do this. And you're very much, okay, when it's time to open up and when it's time to be as intimate as possible, which a working definition for intimate will say close. And and close and knowing and present. Present, close, and knowing. We'll use that as a working definition for intimate, because we have to learn how to be intimate with ourselves. That's a big deal. So what types of exercises, just on a small tip, before we move forward, can you teach people about how to get closer to themselves?
Yeah, so good. So yeah, this intimacy, I like your definition, and I would add transparent, honest.
All right.
Yeah, vulnerable. It's going to be uncomfortable. I'll just be honest. But it just means there's a lot of energy moving through you. We have no problem with a lot of energy moving through us when we orgasm, right? That's fine. Intensity is fine in that domain. I'm just teaching you what if we could also.
We'll touch on that one before we get out of here too, because there's a lot of women and men who aren't fully experiencing orgasms properly.
The fullest of their orgasmic capacity. All right. Yeah, we'll go there in a second. Okay. So the exercise is going to be uncomfortable. I'm just putting that out there, but it's not forever. And you can be brave and get through it. Science says that for a trauma, a trigger, an emotional charge to be integrated, healed, 4 elements have to be present. The image of what is arising. So the image of, oh my God, this is reminding me of my crazy ex-husband or my dad or my mom or whatever trauma happened. The image, the thought, oh my God, I'm not enough. Oh my God, they're going to hurt me. Oh my God, whatever. The thought, the emotion, fear, sadness, fury, the emotion, and the body sensation, contraction, nauseousness, tingly, numb, the body sensation. You've got to address all 4 areas to fully collapse it, fully integrate it, fully process it into the new superpower of strength or confidence or full self-expression or softness, surrender, letting go. That's a capacity as well. That takes great bravery. So on the other side, we need all 4 elements. So the process basically is when the emotion arises, you got 5 seconds to leave your prefrontal cortex and go back into your reptilian brain. You know, fight, flight, freeze, kill the mofo before they kill you, this kind of behavior, right? 5 seconds, 5 seconds. So the feeling arises. See the image in your mind's eye of little Troy, little Alana, little you. Go towards them. Okay, lean in, go towards them. They're sad, they're scared, they're mad. Go towards them, listen. So that's the image. The thought is, I got you, little one. I got you. I'm listening. I'm here. Tell me more. That will be your new thought. The emotion, you're going to feel what they're feeling. And that's the part that takes bravery. You are rescuing them. You're their hero. You're going in there to go, yeah, this is really scary. You're right. I hear you. Tell me more. So you're going to feel whatever they're feeling. Feel it with them. So you're sort of being the observer and the little guy all at once. You're going in there and you're going to feel, and just keep breathing. Keep breathing deeply. It's only going to be 5 or 10 seconds. You can do this. And then the body sensations, allow what comes up. You might feel like you're being strangled. You might feel like you're dying. You might feel whatever you feel, fury. Just feel it. You don't have to do anything about it. All 4 elements. If you just be there and look at little you in your mind's eye, say, hey, I got you. Tell me more. You feel these emotions for 5 or 10 seconds. You let all the body sensations happen. The initial intensity will pass. Then you can either talk to them in your mind's eye. You can get a journal out. You can go for a walk. I know it sounds like maybe you're being crazy because you are talking to yourself, but talk to them. Talk to this aspect of yourself that you have been avoiding, rejecting, and denying probably for most of your life, or just tipping in and looking at, but then like it's too intense, so you shut the door again, hit them with a 2x4 and ignore them. No, we're going to actually resolve this all the way through. So you're going to talk to them until they're done. Journal it out until they're done. Maybe do it later that night. Tell me everything until there's no more content, no more words, no more. And then you go, okay, I got it. Would you like to come home into my heart now? I got you. I'm not going to ignore you anymore when you pipe up. I'm here for you. Something inside will shift. You might need to do it, that exercise, more than once. But as you do this, I promise you, you'll calm yourself down. And it's not just pushing it away until it gets triggered again. We don't need, we want lasting change, not just mitigation and temporary relief.
Right.
If you do this, you will have lasting integration of that lesson. And then something will happen one day when you're like, and I swear it's a crazy moment, thank you, mofo, for betraying me and leaving me for who's knows whatever, because I literally am the embodiment of forgiveness. I literally am grateful and stronger than ever, and I have healthier boundaries, and I speak my mind now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you don't attract the same person in another body in the next relationship. You have grown, and you will attract somebody of a higher vibration who's done their work too. Cool shit. Does that work?
It is shit. I like that because it wasn't until I'm 45 now. So the last, I'd like to say last decade, but I'd say in the last, about the last decade, a little bit less after in this last realm of healing where I really started more so talking about abandonment. And I was abandoned by my parents at 14.
Got it.
So 30 years, you know what I'm saying? 30 years later, I call out the things easier and say, oh man, you've been doing that for a while. Come here. And it's literally not knowing. Sometimes you don't know the techniques, but you end up doing. That's why I was in tears when I first saw "I Am Not Your Guru" by Tony Robbins. I was in tears, and he was like, "Why did it affect you like that?" I was like, "I've been doing these things at events and shows and didn't know they were techniques. I just knew it helped me release."
Yes.
So, and that's a very important thing in so many layers. The reason I touched on address all 4 areas to help overcome trauma instead of pushing it down, letting it come to the forefront. It's like when Dr. Who was it? Men from Mars, Women from Venus, Dr. John Gray.
Yeah.
John Gray said, you know, guys have our rubber band effect, rubber band syndrome. We pull back when it's time to commit. We do that with everyone. Fanatical with the greatest fans of sports and music, and we go for something, but we're trying to commit. We do a pull back, and most women are like, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" He's like, "Give me time. I'm trying to see, is this the rest of my life?" And it's hard, but for women, you have to let them go through the cycle of the wave. And a lot of times when trauma comes up, we're like, no, because no. Instead of letting it go through the whole cycle and listen to yourself. You're absolutely right. When you listen to yourself, when those things are coming back up, when I listen to the stuff, and you can always picture that your senses, everything. You'll smell the cereal that was in the cabinet when you were a kid. Everything comes back. And you can see the pictures, you can see the image. You remember when they left, when they rolled out, when they didn't come back. You remember all of that. And you're absolutely right. Because I've seen myself back at my old house in Baltimore, looking around like, man, I'm by myself. And it's easy to get back there when you're by yourself again, or when you're going through something. And so it's very like people say doing the self-work. My friend Lisa Bubari always talks about, she's a hypnotherapist. So she goes right there. Where are you at now? Like, I'm right here with you. Well, besides that, I'm here. Oh, I see me. But it's key. And we have more control over this gorgeous, wonderful mind of ours than we think. And I'm glad you said that. Let the image arise, the thought, the emotion, the sensation in your body. Like some people feel like you want to throw up, clench up, got cramps, acting a fool, mad, crying, whatever it is. And let yourself work through it. Yeah. Okay. The orgasm. I read a book a while back, and I always reference it because I like the way they test it. It's called Ordinary Women, Extraordinary Sex.
Okay.
And they were trying to, they start, and of course, Hype Report and Masters Johnson, all this stuff, because some of them deal with the physical aspect. But this book was saying, look, if we asked a group of 50 men and women, how's their sex like? The general consensus is going to be like, oh, it's good. It's okay. Yeah, it's normal. Or it's fantabulous. We may get a couple of those. But there's no way to judge because they're just giving whatever their response is to you saying sex. It's like, oh, I'm all right. I'm good. I had some when I had my coffee this morning. Like, did you hear what I said? I said sex. Oh, I thought you said jam. Whatever it is. So they tested them. Oh, how are you when you see movies? How do you like sunsets? Do you ever cry to certain colors? And they looked at the fact that if people who were more orgasmic about life, probably more orgasmic as a whole.
Great point. Yep.
That means that if you have blocks in your mind, in your head, in your if you were molested, raped, if you feel like every person you're with, if you go into every man's a dog, and you meet this guy, he's nice looking, but I know he's barking in there. He's like, hey, how are you? It's like, What do you want? I was just saying hi, and you seem crazy. And you're not crazy, and he's not a dog. But
Yes.
that interaction was like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So
Do.
tell people, because you always seem orgasmic about life, no matter what you're going through. You seem like, yes, let's go. You know, and I know times when you're like, because I heard you on the other side when it's like, these motherfuckers, oh, we on camera? Hey. You're a real person.
Yes, I am.
And people shift that sometimes. I have a dear friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to going through that journey with her, seeing how she maps everything out. But she, you know, it's hard. And dudes, I know dudes are straight laced business, all business. You know, they even if they're going out, oh, look at that one right there. Yeah, man, but they probably want this, that, and the other. And it's like, why don't you just say hi? You know, where's the, how can people be more orgasmic about everyday life? Because I've come to realize that that's the fact. You're trying to wait till you get in the bedroom and the guy is watching porn. Now every woman thinks they got to have a waterfall and squirting like a porn star because that's the thing in porn, you know, or it was like, how old do you want me to be? It's like, I'm only 35. Oh, you sure you're not like, you got anybody in your family that's 65? It's like, have you been watching GILFs? What do you do? Oh, I'm sorry. I told you. I need a short GILF with, you know, you can, nowadays you can put anything you want in a short GILF with cowboy boots. Oh, here we go.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's yeah, that to me is sad. So orgasmic. So just like I said, or I alluded to a moment ago, everything's energy. So if you can be this little like scrunched up straw, let alone a hose, you're not going to be able to let life force energy through you. You're going to stuff away your pain, but you're also going to stuff away orgasm. You're not going to be able to receive love, receive money. You won't receive much of life, so maybe not as many painful experiences because you're not even going to show up in the first place. So you can just make your whole life super small, not very orgasmic, not very abundant, not very loving, not very anything. Or you choose that I'm going to have a wide berth. I'm going to experience life. I'm willing to experience the pain and the pleasure. I'm willing to experience the sadness and the orgasms of ecstasy. I'm here for the whole enchilada. That's the misunderstanding, is that, no, I don't like it just to be perfect, spiritually bypassing individual. No, I'm just going to focus on the good and always think positive. Like, no, you're running. You're putting, actually, by forcing yourself to focus only on the good, you're simultaneously pushing on the quote unquote bad, and what you resist persists. And it's only a matter of time before that Mack truck of bankruptcy, cancer, divorce, something is going to smuck you in the face if you keep clamoring towards the good. The key is open to the whole thing, which was the gift, as I alluded to earlier, losing my mom and giving birth. That all happened within less than a year. So I had like lots of pain and lots of joy all together. But the gift of it was this: if I can open my heart to the pain, 1 potato, 2 potato, remember the breathing? Hey, little Alana, right? You're okay. And I'm looking at my dead mom, 3 potato, 4, and I just keep doing it. And I keep leaning into the pain. Within 5 seconds, there she was, dead. I felt head to toe love. Not like obviously a clitoral orgasm, not like that, but like head to toe bliss of love, because I was willing to feel the pain all the way through to its end. Or the reason why I was sad is because I loved her. And then same with feeling the bliss of my boy being born, looking at my eyes for the very first time, the bliss, the bliss, the bliss. All of a sudden, I kept open. I said, I don't want to miss this moment. I don't care that my legs are splayed and there's doctors everywhere and doing whatever and I'm birthing the placenta. I'm not going to pay attention to that. These eyes. I'm going to stay with these little eyes for the very first time. And then all of a sudden, the very same sensation happened, Troy. Head to toe, bliss, love. The exact same thing that happened when I was feeling the pain all the way through to the end. And instantly I saw a heart. 2 sides of a heart, right? So through the path of pain, if you keep your heart open, and through the path of ecstasy, bliss, orgasm, if you keep your heart open, you arrive at the same place, which is the same place where we all start. Ultimately, we're all love. Okay?
Let me tell you what's so key about that. I just watched, and it's on Netflix for people that have Netflix. It's called Explained. And, you know, I'm going to go in and look at the sex, love, relationship stuff. But he's talking about the female orgasm. The scientist was talking about it's weird because the only other thing in life that gives you the same scientific mental workup, mental reaction, body reaction and everything. One person, well, I remember before we say stroke, it's a seizure. And there's the only thing equivalent to what it does to your body during orgasm is a seizure. And the key thing about it, he said, there's something about pleasure and pain that meet.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just was watching that, and he said scientifically in the cortex and everything, there's something about your cortex, your mind and everything, where pleasure and pain meet. And that would explain a lot of stuff that, a lot of stuff that people, but pleasure and pain meet.
Well, so it explains a lot of kink, that's for sure. Or why people into tears or get angry or all these different things that happen. In the French language, orgasm is le petit mort, the little death. That's even what they call an orgasm. That's small.
Your body does the same thing it's about to do when you're about to be out. Your seconds. I think that's why some people get into the whole asphyxiation. Yeah, just choke me out. And right as I'm blacking out and the Lord is reaching at me, I'm gonna say, no, Lord, this was just an orgasm. What?
Well, it's true. So here's the ability to have an orgasm, have an orgasmic life, not just wait till it's bound chicka bound time. I believe, this is a belief, and I suppose there's science that sort of backs it as well, but the idea that life comes, the field is literally coming in us, as us, and through us. It's checking in on our vibration. That's how we co-create with the field. That's how ask and it's given. That's why we could say the universe has our back. It's actually energy. It's actually really happening. Now, the way to optimize that is to be coherent. What is coherent? That is when your heart can be measured in a place of harmony, love, compassion, kindness, appreciation, gratitude. You can measure this in your heart. It means your heart has to be open. What happens when a heart is coherent, the brain, the best of your brain turns on, and the best of your intuition turns on. And you are like this open vessel for the highest of your intentions, the highest of your choices. So we want to practice being in our heart to have the most energy flow through us and create the best life we want. Now we take this over to orgasm. If you're not in your heart, you're in your mind, your ego, that dog, they're going to leave me like blah, blah, blah. If you shut your heart down, your vibration is low, you're alone, the universe is not coming in you as you through you. You're in your ego mind, and the orgasm that occurs in your body, if it occurs at all, is like very short-lived and very short and over. But if you are living in your heart all the time, I literally say to the universe, have your way with me today, like penetrate me, like what you got today. Like I'm flirting with the universe all the time. I really am.
Yelling that in the line at the bank, penetrate me. Mask on, penetrate.
But I am, people comment, they're like, your energy. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not going to turn it off. Like my sexual energy is not just kinky, naughty, wild, erotic. That's a flavor of it. But my sexual life force energy that's coming in me, as me, through me, this open to life woman, that's how I say, no, back off, turn around, walk away now. Like that's fierce love. It's flowing through me. I don't mess with me, right? But also this sexual creative life force energy is like, let's do a podcast with Troy. Haven't talked to Troy in a long time. I hope Troy's awesome. Or, oh my God, I think I'd like to start a dating app, which I am. Or I'd like to write another book. Or like it's creation. It's generative energy. It's like an idea to build a garden or make a dinner. Okay, it's like that's also creative life force energy. You want to be inspired and turned on by everything, and then it's also.
It is totally true. It is totally true, and it's funny because then, folks, you will gravitate towards people who are more orgasmic about life. I love food, foodgasms, food porn. Is why foodgasm and food porn exists. If you've never had a foodgasm,
you are missing out.
You probably never had an orgasm. If you never bit into something, say,
Thank you. Totally thank you. I even got a book from one of my clients the other day. It's called Cabin Porn. I love cabins. Cabins really do it for me. Cabins on lakes.
You know what? I haven't spent. I love wood. I love fireplace. I love wood furniture, wood floors, the smell of cedar and stuff. I probably would orgasm at someone's cabin. No offense if I go to your cabin. I'm not gonna. I was going up to Big Bear. They probably like, oh, cancel the orgasmic dude who's gonna mess up our cabin walls.
Yeah, but this idea of allowing yourself to have orgasmic joy, being turned on, being alive, letting yourself be moved, affected by the sunset, for God's sake. We could just cognitively analyze, that's a very lovely sunset. Let's go home. Like, no, like let it move you. Let it open you. Let it help you be grateful for the small things. Like that's an orgasmic life. And like the last part of the sexual energy that I wanted to, so we had like the kinky, wild, orgasmic part. We had the fierce love, like boundary. We have the generative idea of like, we have all the food, deliciousness, that, but we also, another sexual energy of letting all this energy flow through you is also care, tenderness, healing, not shutting that down either, to give presence, care, love, touch to someone. If you can have the whole spectrum of this life force energy coming through you, you can literally live a more orgasmic life. Because sometimes the orgasms make you cry. Sometimes they're not the wild, kinky kind. They're the, I feel held by the universe and held by this beloved who's not judging me. I feel loved in a way I never have. Let that move you to orgasm as well. As, hey, I've got an idea. If you tie me up over here, we do it over there. Like it could be creative and wild as well. But there's so many flavors of love and orgasm, just like there's so many flavors of life. And you don't have to wait around for a partner or a partner to quote unquote, get it right, do the right technique in order for you to be so ripe for orgasm. You don't even need to freaking be touched, to be quite honest. If you're very energetic in your sexual style, you can literally have an orgasm without even being touched. Just the foreplay, just the alluring nature. There's so much fun to be had being alive that fills up your tank to then deal with the intensity and the atrocity that we're dealing with in life right now. If you haven't filled up your tank being grateful for the tiny stuff and really tasting that piece of chocolate, for example, and you have to watch what happened to George Floyd, you're not going to survive. You're going to be crushed by the atrocity of what's going on. You will be devastated and give up on life. And we need to keep our heart open and change the planet. We need to make things right. We need to stop, you're bad and you're good and I'm right and you're wrong. I mean, enough. Palestine and Israelis or Catholics and Protestants or blacks are like, enough of this. We're one. We got to learn how to lean in, not just in divorces, but in life, and find the common ground, be more in allowance and listen. We don't have to be right or wrong, good or bad. We can just be and listen and find a new way. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen on our planet if it's not happening in our hearts to our little you. Hey, lean in, little you. What's going on? I'm not here to tell you you're wrong for being sad or you're wrong for being mad or you're wrong for being shamed. We've got to stop hating on ourselves and then stop hating on our partner. And then let's see how that raising of vibration affects our planet in a better way. It's all a projection out there of what's going on the inside. So while we're having a juicy, delicious conversation about cabin porn and all the rest of it, at the same time, I want you all to get that when you live like that, your vibration, your thoughts, and your choices literally uplift this planet that needs it now more than ever. You are the difference. You are the change when you start inside. Yeah.
Allana Pratt, ladies and gentlemen. Allana Pratt. That's the key. That's the key. Looking inward, sitting in your stuff, the things that hurt you, the things that being more open. I tell people all the time, you can't love like this. Love will make you more vulnerable to anything on the planet. And when you're really loving, and it's hard when you've been vulnerable when someone hurt you. It's hard when you've been vulnerable when they leave. It's hard when you've been vulnerable when you leave, because you don't want to. You just don't. You want to quit. It's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and you. I mean, it's key. You made a lot of good points. I want to let's get on this before we get out of here. And heartmates. Tell me more about heartmates. You're dating.
Yeah.
Now you're bringing folks together to be cabin. Oh, hold up. Before we time, you danced around the cabin porn and said cabin porn, cabin. We're talking about that. What is cabin? What is the? Oh, you love cabins. So that means
so there's a
you
book
just lose it as
called
soon as you
Cabin.
walk in.
The name
There's
of
a book called Cabin Porn.
Yeah, my client sent me because they know how happy cabins make me. Seriously.
Oh, so it's just a bunch of beautiful cabins?
Yes, all over this planet. It is so, it's page after page of beautiful cabins in every single country in this world that just make me orgasmic. It just makes me really happy. I'm a simple girl. I don't know.
You see, I wrote y'all. If y'all ain't writing notes, y'all need to go back and write notes. You see, I'm sitting here writing notes, and I know Atlanta. I'm like, books do it. So, all right, tell more about Heartmates. Tell us about Heartmates, your dating site.
So it's a dating app. The tag is become the one to find the one. The biggest complaint from all of my clients is, hey, I met this great gal, I met this great guy. It's been about 3 months, everything's awesome. And then like we had some tough conversations and they ghosted me. We just had tough conversations.
I didn't even know ghosting, I didn't know they had named it.
Named it.
They were like, he ghosted you. I was like, what? One of my people was sending me a question. I was like, ghosted? I just, and then they just stopped talking. They just disappeared. I was like, you okay? That's just, I guess that's gangster. The best way of saying no, I'm just moving on.
Well, it's sad because this is the moment that we started this whole interview with these couples that are going for the divorce. Here's your moment of conflict. Shadows are in your face and you're going to give up and get a divorce, right? So this mini version of that, dating, 3 months-ish, things get a little uncomfortable. You have your first fight and people leave. They haven't learned what we've been talking about this whole time: intimate relationship with yourself, sitting in the fire, keeping your heart open, being vulnerable, not saying you, but I feel, none of the judgment, like all the things that I teach. These people don't have these skills. So I said, well, what if I created a dating app where it was mandatory that you were doing the work? It was and everybody does the work. And we all become the one, not seek the one, find the one, and finally I'm enough. That's bullshit. It's when we can sit with little you and not push little you away, then we can sit with our beloved, even though we're uncomfortable, even though that we're not in control, even though life is uncertain, even though we might not agree, we don't go anywhere. And we lean in and we get closer. And then on the other side of it, I trust them more. I cherish them more. They respect me more. They heard me. They didn't make me wrong. Even though they don't agree with me, they didn't say, well, you shouldn't feel like that. They go, wow, tell me more. They learn the skills through conflict to become more intimate, more vulnerable, more respecting of one another. So that's the app. The app is, yes, here we are. We're all going to date each other and we're going to grow together. We're going to become the one. And there's like little nuances, like right before you go on a date with audio or video within the app, 2 things happen. 1, Alana gives you a 2-minute heart meditation. Why? The science I said before, if you're not coherent in your heart, who's doing the talking and who's doing the dating is your ego-based, fear-based, past-based, waiting for them to be the dog that the last one was. It's not going to go very well. But
and we call that one the representative.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. That's what. If you wonder what the representative mean when people say they send their representative, fear, ego, past, fear, all that. That's the person that's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to fail. So don't even try. So I give you a 2-minute meditation to get you into your heart, coherent. So the beginning of this conversation starts with authenticity, real connection, meaningful connection. That's part 1. Part 2, you get given a question to ask. You can scroll through until you find one that lights you up and turns you on. But I don't want to go, yeah, so, all the shallow bullshit that doesn't actually make a difference. I help people go really deep, really fast with a question, something like, tell me something you learned from your last relationship that you're really grateful for. Right out of the gate. Let's be real. Let's go deep. So I'm helping people to communicate more effectively, heal the past, do the work, and be in a world where, yeah, we're going to connect, but let's first create a friendship, an ally. Let's not go, oh my God, are they the one? I got to be perfect. And can we get married and get slow the fuck down and let's just, get to know each other. Okay. So you're in it for a year. It's a 1-year curriculum and a 1-year dating app. Well, what if I meet somebody in month 1? I'm like, last time I checked, you got to water a plant more than once. why don't you stay in and do the work and maybe not date other people, put your profile on hold, that's fine, but keep doing the exercises, keep asking questions, keep deepening your relationship over time. I wonder if it might work out better than the other ones have. So this is the app. This is a new category because we're mixing dating and personal growth together. I'm really confident that it's going to work because it's the complaint that all my clients have. And the only question at this point is whether I'm going to go on it or not. But for now, I don't think so.
And not be just a haircut club president and not jump in there and make sure. You got to jump in. You got to jump in and work it. You got to work. But just, you know, you got to jump in and work. You know, I read my books. I just got Yonder, one of the book author, me and him partner and stuff like that. He just sent me a box of our books. You know, it's like books that we, you know, so it was like, yeah, and you know, you got to go back in and read some stuff, and even the fiction stuff. You know, the fiction stuff we write in sex, love, relationships as well. So you can never stop doing the work. But the app sounds exciting. I know some people are gonna go follow Allana Pratt right now at Allana Pratt on Instagram. On her link, you'll see allanapratt.com / I think she has Heartmates up there as well on her Instagram page and everywhere else. I don't know if you got a how much time you got?
Oh, I'm good. I'm yours. But all clients are done today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was packed. The other day she was like, Troy,
no,
I loved it.
I'm
not gonna be. She sound like the wife that got home from work who's like, baby, I know. I said I can lay here. I can lay here. I just don't have any energy. I was like, wow, that's really a thing. So what's the greatest thing out of your own personal relationships? What's the greatest thing, the greatest compliment and thing you learned about yourself, and the shit you learned about yourself was like, oh,
Yeah,
the really fucked up one and the really great one.
I think the really fucked up one was so I've been married twice. This was during the custody battle, the 12-year custody battle, long time, with the second marriage, is he did something, and I don't need to say what he did, but it was just, I called him a lying, conniving fuckhead. You can just imagine what he did. And I said that to my coach, and my coach said, and where are you, Allana, the lying, conniving? I'm like, oh no, I am holier than thou. I am the life coach. I take the higher ground. He's like, no, you wouldn't be so triggered by what he did unless that's an aspect of you that you have not integrated yet. Look, where are you? Maybe it's physically, mentally, spiritually, vocationally, financially, socially, romantically, sexually, family-wise. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. That's your homework. Let's talk. And what I discovered was when I got married to my second husband, it was right when my mother was dying. And I had been married before, and I was more the damsel in distress. I just wanted, some tall, dark, and handsome man to choose me, and then I'm enough, right? And so it's not like I manipulated him at the time. Consciously, I really was in love with him at the time. But in hindsight, I was just looking to be saved. I was a damsel looking to be saved. I was in my early 20s. And so I own that, I forgive myself, and I grew. But I didn't really grow with my second marriage. It was more like the other side of the same coin. Okay, I got this. I'm going to be masculine. I'm going to make this happen. Anybody will do. This Disneyland stuff doesn't, Disneyland fairy tale love. Like, that's not real. Okay, mom's dying. Dad's got somebody. My sister's got somebody. Okay, I'm just going to get married. I'm going to get a husband. I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to move on. It's going to be fine. What I was really doing was I was covering up all the pain of the loss of my mother, thinking some man and a baby would save me. I wasn't really growing at all. So when I married him, not cognitively at the time, I loved him, but in hindsight, I could see that I used him so that I didn't have to feel the pain of my mother. And my heart was closed. And so, of course, I would attract somebody with a closed heart. And so from his point of view, a year into this marriage, mom's dead. We're fighting every single day. He's not who I thought he was. I divorce him. Wait a minute. I said I would be there forever. I said till death do us part. I lied. And then I not only did that, I humiliated him in front of everybody by leaving him. So from his point of view, I was a lying, conniving fuckhead, just like I said about him. And when I went, oh, not that that condoned the behavior that led me to say that in the first place, that was still fucked up. But I forgave him. I had compassion for him. I understood from his point of view, he had every right to feel that about me. And then I had to own that I wasn't willing to sit in the fire and heal from my mother's death before I got out there dating again, trying to make all the pain go away and use some guy and have a baby to make everything pretty on the outside. So I didn't have to feel the hell on the inside. So I owned that. And I forgave myself for that. And I forgave him. And all the charge, the trigger, the how could he? It all went away. And while I see who he is, I don't have a charge with who he is. I remember what happened, but I don't have blame or a story anymore. It's just all very quiet and still inside. And it feels really mature and wise inside, calm inside. So that's the crazy stuff that I wanted to share. And the good stuff that I'm very pleased that people find about me, a common thread, they say, your energy. And I kind of like, what do you mean my energy? You don't see I'm pretty or I'm kind or I'm nice or none of that. No, it's like, they don't say that. They say it's your energy. So I'm like,
it's
okay.
the Lucille Ball energy you bring to the table. It's like,
And so what I'm learning as I become, like I'm a total quantum physics geek. I'm always interviewing all the scientists. I want to understand what my intuition knows. I want to prove it in science. And what I'm getting is kind of what we were speaking of before, the orgasmic capacity, my ability to stay in my heart and not judge and be compassionate to others and not judge myself and be compassionate to myself makes my measurable coherence of my heart a high vibration, which allows me to have the energy of the universe, a high vibration of the universe, literally co-create with me, in me, through me, as intuition, as ideas, as creative thinking, as instinctive hits. It's an energy that is using me, co-creating with me. And I've said, hey, have your way with me. I already said that. Penetrate me, universe. Like, let's use me, God.
For the Baskin Robbins, penetrate me.
Chocolate with it. Yes.
We don't have that flavor.
So that's the energy people are picking up on, is a high vibration of possibility. And to me, there's no greater flattering comment to let me know that you feel life force energy and possibility when you're around me, because I don't judge you and I do believe in you. And I'd love to co-create with you or just witness you and believe in you. So I can be a blessing just by listening to someone. Like, wow, that is so flattering and the nicest thing anyone could ever say.
That's a powerful thing, a high vibration of possibility. Because sometimes in a world that's so cynical and so real, you feel like optimism is a downfall. So the fact that I probably had to put that together. Being orgasmic, being open to possibility. You know, because if you the more open you become, the more orgasmic you become about life. And it's so you're definitely gonna see these hashtags. Whatever hashtag IG lets me get away with, you're gonna see orgasmic life. We'll probably name part this my sex life died in quarantine, or my relationship died, because the avoidance.
Yeah.
I know people who went 25 years avoiding in relationships, married to someone for 25 years, separated in the same house for years.
Yeah.
And the avoidance became normal.
Yes, it will. So will numbness. So will being abused every day. Anything that you're doing every day is going to become normal.
I tell people all the time, when you go to a counselor or therapist, and the good ones know right off the bat, I'll say, first thing first, I don't want to see you two together until I do the individual work. Yes. A good therapist that works with people, yeah.
That's how I do it.
Let me see you two separate. I think Mort Fertel, even in Maryland, Baltimore, I think his name is Mort Fertel, forgive me, Mort, Mr. Fertel. But he does the Lone Ranger courses because he knows one person is usually ready when the other person isn't. Somebody, you can see the body language when they first sitting there. He's like, yeah, I'm talking to y'all. One's leaning forward, one's like,
yeah.
So body language is everything. I laugh at my daughter sometimes. She was like, what? I was like, what is wrong? She's like, nothing. I was like, your whole body is telling, 60% of your communication is your body right now. Yeah. What's wrong? Nothing.
Oh. Yeah.
eyes. I'm like, what is wrong? Nothing. So it's a powerful thing. It's powerful. You gave me a lot of good nugget. And
Mm.
hopefully the people that are watching, if to sum it up, you need to get in touch with Atlanta. Go to AtlantaPratt.com. Give everybody all your information, how to get in touch with you, how
Yeah.
to connect with you, what you got going on.
Remind me to say one more thing about what you just said, and then when we end this. So
Yeah, no. You can. We don't have to wrap. I just want to make sure you throw it in before we
I really will, and I'm so grateful for you. You made a good point that couples are never ready at the same time. It's very rare because we're each our own being on our own journeys. We're not robots, right? So the chances of two people being ready to do the work at the exact same time is pretty much not going to happen. That doesn't mean don't do the work. And the one that's ahead, willing to do the work and just take the higher ground. It's not fair. I just acknowledge you right now. It's not fair. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. And maybe that's your growth, to not have everything be fair and be right about it and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you've got to learn more humility, more selflessness, more compassion. Maybe you've got to learn more bravery or more courage. It's going down the way it's going down on purpose. Do the work, because that's science. It's a balancing act. And if your side of the scale changes, it can't help but change the other side of the scale. And at the end of the day, do we really want them to say, yeah, you're right, you were always right? No, that's what the ego wants. The heart just wants you to come together and understand each other and forgive each other and make up, make love, and create a whole new world together. Okay, so be willing to go first and do the work alone if you have to. Because many marriages that I work with, I have never met the other partner, and that marriage is thriving. Sometimes it's the couple that comes to me and I do the separate work and the couple's work, but it's not required in order to shift things. Only taking responsibility for ourselves is required. So I just wanted to end with that. So yeah, AtlantaPratt.com.
Yeah, I think I mean we got a lot of stuff. I'm an old school R&B rat. So people, when you said that about make up, make love, the thing that's so funny and why I like R&B so much, men weren't afraid to beg. I ain't too proud to beg. Temptations, one of their biggest hits was "Ain't Too Proud to Beg." I sit on endorse that all night and day just to keep you from walking away. The OJs had a song called "Cry Together," and it was like we cried together. And then one point in time, it said, "Then we made love, like we never made love before." And most people like cry. Did you get to the? But I love the song because it talked about they were talking and they knew they were going through stuff, and they were about to break up, and then they cried together, and then the release was there, and then you made it. And so it's a lot of times we're not getting to the release in our relationship because we're so, like you said, you want to be right. And I talk about it in my book, but I've really been expounding on it in my own personal life. I don't like to fight. I don't like arguing. If we argue, I need a minute. A minute could be 2 days. I need to come down. I would like, because especially if it's not venomous, we're good. Because I know we're having a disagreement. We can agree to disagree. We can do it. But those venomous arguments, there are a lot of couples that have dealt with some venomous arguments. This person said something that you just can't, whether you think it's cool because y'all been talking that way since y'all were kids and y'all were that couple that always argue and now y'all married 20 years later, it tears at a person's fiber.
No, it does. Yeah.
And you're doing that to each other. And then you wonder why that smooth woman or guy that comes up and they just being genuine and being polite and they looking at you like, you opening my door? It's like, yeah, what's wrong with you? You call me beautiful. He's like, what? Stop running down your leg. Oh, don't mind that. Don't mind that. It doesn't, all of a sudden, it don't take a lot of work. And he's like, how you going to be with this person? How you going to be with this person? They complimented me. She paid attention to what I was saying. All those things, we're so angry and we forget we're on the same team.
Yeah.
It's literally what's happening. I am overwhelmed by seeing the world come together right now. That's what's overwhelming me. The world is coming together.
Yeah.
Paris is like, yeah, George Floyd. And they're marching. The world is coming together like, nah, that's not right. But this is why. Problems get, once they're once two people are contained, once we contain ourselves, once we stop going crazy, once we calm down,
yeah,
quarantine our own selves, quarantine together, can't go anywhere. We're polarized on whatever we're focused on. We're focused on the same thing. And everybody was focused on their phones, on the TV, when this comes across. And everybody, without filter, said, that's not right.
Yeah.
It's the same mentality with you and your mate. Wherever you are, Alana gave some, you got to get in touch with her because I got my notes. I ain't giving you my notes. But we got to do a cabin getaway. No. I mean a big, not just me, just a big, but for people to realize that you're on the same team and the thing you should be focusing on is the enemy or the thing that's trying to destroy your relationship. Could be in you and them, could be just in you, could be just in them. Mm-hmm. But doing the work as a team. If you're married, especially, if there hasn't been an atrocity that just crushed your trust and because some people can make it through. You talk to some of the older couples, they made it through stuff. You're like, he has a whole nother family where? He's like, oh, you ain't never met your neighbors? It's like, wait, I just thought that dad left. Yeah, he left and came over here. It's like, what? Long as they stay next door and don't come over here, we good. We've been good for 50 years. You're like, what? People have fought through stuff that you couldn't even imagine, and we get upset just because we're looking for things to get upset about, but you made it very key. And I thank you for being transparent about that. The things you learned about yourself that were just fucked up, the things that were good. And like you always had the good energy. But at the same time, we always have a yin and a yang about ourselves. People have said, oh, Troy, I knew you were going to be a great dad. How'd you know? I know some. I was like, how'd you know? It was like, you were a great guy. I know some great guys that aren't great dads.
Yeah.
So very key, very key.
This is good. Yeah.
We can talk for hours. Give everybody your information. We can do it. This can be part one. I've been doing part ones lately because people have been doing. So this is part one with Alana. I'll put part one. We'll be back for part two.
Okay.
Give everybody all your information, how to get in touch with you, and what you got coming up.
So allanapratt.com. That's my site. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is let's look me up, Allana Pratt. Intimate Conversations is my podcast. Awesome interviews there. There's a quiz, an intimacy blind spot quiz right on my website. So it's really helpful when you can't figure it out yourself, what's going on. Get some help to figure out the blind spot, totally complimentary. There's the Heartmates app. So that's for dating. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Of course, I do group programs and private coaching. And when we're allowed to travel and hang out together, we'll get the retreats going up again. But there's lots of ways that I can serve you. And I just want you to know that it's an environment where it's safe to be real. It's encouraged to be vulnerable. There's a lot of self-responsibility that's asked of you to own your stuff and stop blaming, sitting in your own fires. There's a lot of celebration of what's possible when you do that for your own self, and not just your own relationships, but with your kids, with your career, with your sexuality, like all these intimate relationships that are possible. Everything in life is a relationship. So when you do that inner work inside with yourself, notice how all these areas in your life improve. So I love what I do. We've got incredible community and clients, and I would love to serve you. And I drop F-bombs, and I believe all genders, and I love everybody. So just, that's how I roll. I'm one big love bucket muffin person. I don't know.
One big love bucket muffin. That is a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt. One big love bucket muffin. People are like, what? That's your t-shirt. Okay,
that's my t-shirt. Yep. And this has been such a pleasure. You're such a delight, and you get it. So thank you.
Oh, it's like I said, I'm excited about yourself just building. Like I said, I want to get to the point where we can have, the life and love events and all the stuff and the retreats, and I'm just getting my squad together and making sure we can do great cyber retreats, but I can't wait to do a retreat. So
yeah, same. 2021 probably for us, but it's all good.
Yes, indeed.
It's all good.
All
yeah.
right. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
So much.
So good.
Right. I got to come out there to the far west where you are. I got to come visit you out there.
It's hot. It's 111 today. Don't come out right now.
You said what?
It's 111 degrees in Palm Desert right now. Too hot. Too hot.
How far are you from Palm Springs? Is that near Palm Springs?
Just 30 minutes more east. Yeah, towards Coachella, like there.
Is it? But it's beautiful out there when it's beautiful.
Gorgeous. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Happy.
But when it's hot?
When it's hot, yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.